This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Thanks for your continued support. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
I offer a very sickly what's popping tonight.
Hi, LeRon.
Hi.
I missed your face.
I missed your face too.
That doesn't. That was very convincing. But
I know it didn't come off the way it should have, and like I said, I'm sorry. I'm sick.
if you're sick, why are you here?
Man, cold alert.
Oh, can I go? Can I go?
Not now. We already hit record.
Oh, screw that! Screw that! People dropped off for less stuff in the middle of a recording. Can I go?
I was pooping.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I did not say you, Patrick.
Wow. That was prime entertainment content just right there. Right there.
Wow. Even though technically I got a bone to pick with you because of how you just basically like came at me today in chat, but yeah.
Oh boy. I'll let you two fight off to the side. Also here joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
I'm here. I have my energy drink and I have my heating pad for my aching back. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers indeed. Our PAX organizer. I feel so lost. I'm so lost.
I feel lost every day.
Speaking of lost, also here is PK Power Pat Klein. We found him.
Yep, you did. And
Not pooping.
Not pooping this time. And you found me, and I didn't really want to be found, so I'll probably be lost again after this podcast.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. You know what I did find though, for real?
Waldo?
And not that I was like really looking for it, but it's been gone for a while, was this little like tiny Groot figure.
Oh, little
I
baby.
I don't know where I got it. It used to sit on my shelf and then it just disappeared one day and it's been missing for like a year and I found him. He's right here.
You think he came to life?
Maybe he danced.
Maybe he saw you were moving and he didn't want to get left behind.
Maybe. Also, he's hanging out with Sora. My Sora amiibo that I opened.
Yeah.
Gasp. Am I the only person that opens all my amiibo?
I open my amiibos.
All my amiibos are open, except for the Wolf Link, which ended up being a shame because they reprinted Wolf Link. So I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, this is the third time they've reprinted Wolf Link.
I need to open my amiibos, but I don't know. I'm scared.
Of what? That you'll play with them?
Yes.
Oh no, I enjoyed these toys I bought.
Are they actually doing anything as far as amassing value? Are they doing anything?
Not anymore. Now that Nintendo's re-releasing them.
There are a few that are worth money. I don't know which ones they are.
Like the Wolf Link amiibo until they reprinted them.
Yeah, but they.
I feel like like then you can be like, okay, it's first generation, first edition versus a reprint. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, there are rare ones like that, like the Animal Crossing Villager. When they reprinted that, they changed its face, so the Gen 1 actually looks different. Also, they've changed the packaging on the reprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first gen had like the Wii U and the 3DS on the back of the box, and now they just say Amiibo on the back. So, there's that. But anyways, there are certain ones that I'm looking for, but I'm not looking that hard. I did get my Banjo-Kazooie one the other day, though. Yeah. It's at the new house.
Spoilers. VGNY, they're at PAX again. They always sell a ton of amiibo, so usually that's where I kind of pick up ones that I'm missing there from them.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be on the lookout for the hero and
Dragon
Simon
Quest?
and Richter Belmont. Yep, those are
I
ones
saw
I kind of
Simon.
want.
I saw a Simon Belmont at my Best Buy the other day when I was there.
Ooh,
My Best Buy is like, if you're looking for something that's really hard to find, you go there. It's probably there because nobody ever goes there.
No one shops at that Best Buy.
Yeah, no.
Then that's the good Best Buy then.
Yeah. I when I was there, when I was looking for TVs when I was there, I saw the Zelda controller and I almost bought it, except that I was about to buy a $1,200 TV, so I decided not to.
the black and white one.
Yeah,
Twilight or Kingdom.
yeah.
Cool. That's a nice one.
I still really want it. I'll find it eventually, but I want that and the Smash Brothers ones because they're white and they match the OLED switch in the dock.
Hey guys, you want to know what else is white?
Me. What?
Well, yes, you're a white guy. This little PlayStation Portal here that I got.
Welcome to the Portal Club. Oh yeah.
Did you hack it and start playing PSP games on it?
Oh,
I was
dude,
just about to ask that question.
I'm already playing N64 games on it. Just kidding. No,
I was about to say you're a liar.
How are you liking it?
You know what? I had to do some reconfigurations. Before my PlayStation was on Wi-Fi, is now hardlined because I was getting a little bit of some jitters when I was in my bedroom. But since I've connected it to an Ethernet cord, I can actually play this just fine in my bedroom.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Now, I know many people would say it looks clumsy, but how does it feel in your hands?
I like it. It's I think the controllers on each side give it a nice weight.
Yeah.
It balances out so it doesn't feel so heavy in the center. So
nice.
Yep. I'm surprised I was able to get this. Wario64 made a post about it, and when I saw the post, it was 7 hours later, but I decided to click on the link. They were still available.
Nice.
So it's like,
nice.
So that was my treat.
I am aching for some sort of handheld device that is not a Nintendo Switch at some point.
Was it a Nintendo PAL Block or something where you said you wanted to kind of test out a Steam Deck? Do you want me to just bring mine to PAX and you could just fiddle around with it? I can log out and you can log into your Steam account and see what you can do.
I would say yes, but I don't know the password to my Steam account, so I guess I could just reset it, but
or you could just play around with my Steam Deck on my account, which is fine. I mean, do whatever.
I say bring your Steam Deck, just because I'm tempted. Just because there's like demos and stuff I want to try out, or not even just demos, like just review codes. A lot of those are Steam related.
I know.
Yeah, the indie ones, yeah.
I get so many of these games in my inbox that say here's a code, it's for Steam. I'm like, guys, come on. Come on.
I have a Steam account.
I know. I've given you some. I gave you what? Ghost Runner, I guess, was the last one?
Yeah.
But a lot of it is stuff that I know you wouldn't play, LeRon. That's why I don't.
Okay, I was about to say, you're saying like you get them all the time. I was like, wait a second.
How many farming sims do you want to play right now, LeRon?
0. 0.
Oh my gosh! I just got speaking of emails in my inbox, I just got an email from Xbox.
Okay, I'll take that one. I'll take the case.
Oh, okay.
Here's your free code for Grounded.
Here's what it said. Sorry for the delayed response. As you can imagine, it's been crazy busy over here.
Nuh-uh.
Let me loop in our content teams that work more closely with the Xbox studios and see if we can get these moving. Great. Thanks.
Who answered? Who? Oh, wait, don't name drop on the show.
I'm not.
Don't do that.
It's my contact at Xbox.
Okay.
Stephanie's on the email too. As a chief content officer, we say.
Where's my part as the chief gaming officer, where I have to improve on these games?
Start gaming. Start. I don't know.
Start gaming.
I don't know, man. All right, here we go. We are Jeez. The Boss Rush Podcast and the Boss Rush Network are headed to PAX East. If you will be able to find us roaming the show floor. So if you see us, come say hi. We'll be covering the event as part of the media, demoing games, conducting interviews, and recording a podcast or two live from the event. So make sure you keep an eye on bossrush.net and our YouTube channel for all that. PAX East, getting close. March 21st to the 24th. So get your badges and come say hello.
A month away.
If you are there and you want to hang out on a podcast segment, we will mic you up. We will mic you up. Just saying. Throwing it out there. Already talked to Sebastian from Single Player Experience. He'll be there.
Nice.
Gamerheads will be there.
I gotta hit up that Discord channel where last year one of the people from the exhibitors like accidentally emailed everybody and we all got each other's contact. So now we have this like PAX East media contact on Discord. I'm like, who's coming?
It's we need to I have this grand idea of what we're going to do there, and I know we're not going to do half of it because of just time and how just first technical and scheduling and just being exhausted at the end of it, probably a day or two, right? But like, man, it'd be really cool if we could do the old school like giant bomb thing where they like bring a group of people in on the couch for like they had like their E3 at night kind of thing where like they would bring a group of people in for a half hour, talk on a podcast, and then they would, transition into another group of people and talk for a half hour. And it would be like a 3-hour podcast of just rotating chairs.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, it used to be my favorite thing. And then Giant Bomb, everybody left Giant Bomb. And now it's
just bombed.
Yeah, kind of. But I got 3 new podcasts out of it. So who's to say? Speaking of saying, if you want to support the Boss Rush Podcast and Boss Rush Network, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can get the show 1 week early and ad-free and other perks like early access to other podcasts, voting rights to book club, interview questions, and more. Just select the tier that's right for you. Again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. If you can't contribute financially, no big deal. Your viewership and listenership is enough for us. If you're watching the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up on the video, hit the bell so you know when new episodes go live.
Ding dong.
With other content coming up soon-ish. Once I get moved in, it's all ready to go, everybody. Let's plays, streaming, let's do it. Anyways, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. It really helps with visibility and discoverability. Remember, you can always find new episodes of all of our podcasts, articles, reviews, and more on our website, bossrush.net. And you can grab merch from our merch store. Just click the store icon on the website or search Boss Rush Network on tpublic.com. There's over 40 designs, so you can check it out. Very excited. Lastly, this is the last episode for patrons before the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth giveaway.
Gasp.
So, you must type the word soldier on the pinned post on Patreon, and you will get 2 final entries into the giveaway. If you are a regular listener, well, sorry, it's over. But you can check social media to see who won later tonight if you're listening on the day of this posts. So
What's exciting? Exciting.
We're going to know the winner very soon. 4 days, 5 days, however many
That just
days.
means it's also closer to Final Fantasy VII, just in general. So
yeah, I'm having a...
It will be out.
I'm having a... no pun intended, a crisis with Final Fantasy VII. So I downloaded the original on my Switch, but then I got sucked into Uncharted, which we'll talk about in a little bit because I finished it last night. And I had a really weird bug I would like to talk about with that game in a minute. But so I've heard I should play the original Final Fantasy VII, then – remake, then Crisis Core. in that order.
That's a tall
No.
ask. Do you really need to play all three?
Wait, who's telling you all this? Like,
Is it the
These
same
times-
people that said Final Fantasy 16 is Devil May Cry? Don't listen to these people.
No, so these are which ties into our topic later of our favorite podcasters or influencers.
Whoops, sorry.
No, they were talking about Final Fantasy VII remake because they are replaying it leading up to Rebirth, and they were saying they were trying to debate what, like, they said you should definitely play the original Final Fantasy VII before you play remake, but they were trying to debate whether you should play Crisis Core before or after remake.
I would say you would play it before.
you would play it before, yeah. The Crisis Core is a prequel.
I know, but I didn't know if there were like, like you would get more out of it if you knew what was going to happen beforehand.
Not necessarily.
I mean, you already know what's going to happen. If you finish...
I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, no, I said if you finish Final Fantasy OG or Final Fantasy VII OG, you know basically what's going to happen at the end of Crisis Core.
That Zack is a dead ass
the
bitch.
exact continuation from it.
Well, the first Final Fantasy VII thing that I actually completed was Advent Children, so which was the movie.
So you watched the movie. You watched the sequel to how all this stuff is, how it ends.
Oh, so
Now,
yeah.
if we also want to throw some other things in, I would say you want to also play Dirge of Cerberus before you play the Final
Pat,
Fantasy
stop.
remake with the DLC.
Stop.
Because
Stop.
there are bad guys from Dirge of
Mute his
Cerberus
microphone, please.
in the DLC.
Mute his microphone.
Here's the thing, Pat. There's no easy way to play Dirge of Cerberus in 2024. So I will pass on that. Thanks for the suggestion. Thanks for writing in. You're dismissed.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, man. Speaking of dismissed, we should not dismiss the segment of what we've been playing. 3 of us here have been playing Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. I assume we've all finished it.
Yep.
Correct.
I would like... So this is the only game that I've been playing the last couple weeks because I've been moving. But I had this really weird bug every time I went to boot up the game where I would load the game up, I would play for about 3 minutes, and then the game would crash. And then I would try to load it up and load the save, and the save would be corrupt. So I would have to delete the game, re-download the game, and then download my save from the cloud to continue progression.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it happened to me 3 separate times. And it was all after the Sunken City, too. So, yeah.
That's weird. I think that's just you.
I mean, it's not like I've had the greatest luck with this PlayStation 5 anyway, so it might be that.
It might be. Yeah, unfortunately, no, I have not suffered from that, but I learned a lesson at the final boss because there are certain sequences and you need to get to him before you knock his gun out of his hand. You got to get to him before he picks the gun back, which is kind of funny because even if I'm nowhere near where he's pointing, if he picks up his gun back and shoots, you just automatically die, even though you're here and he's shooting here. I had Zelda logic in my head because there's the dodge but like roll button. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get there fast. Roll. And I kept dying. I'm like, why am I not getting there on time? I'm rolling. It's slower. I just have to move to him. And then I got to him, no problem. I'm like, dang it. Zelda has taught me that rolling is faster.
Backflipping backwards is also faster.
Yeah.
Backstep.
Man. I love Uncharted, the series. I really do. But can we all just agree that the final bosses in every single one of those games is just a dumpster heap of garbage? I hate the final boss fights in every single game, one of those games. I wish it would just like end.
I don't know what the other 2 or 3 are like, but this one was just more of a just shoot out, press a couple buttons, and that's it, which was disappointing. but
I don't.
all of them are pretty much staged, unlike the rest of the game. So
Yeah. I don't remember 3's final boss fight, but I know 2 and 4 are pretty much just like a fist fight.
3 didn't
essentially.
really have much of a 3 actually I don't think had a boss fight.
Hmm.
I think all those guys died in cutscenes.
Hmm. Well, I guess 4 ends in a sword fight. Spoilers, I guess.
I think 5 had a fight, but or not 5.
Lost Legacy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if that was I think so. Wasn't that a helicopter?
I think so. I don't remember that much of Lost Legacy. I remember really loving it, but then I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Uncharted is so I was playing through when I was playing through it. As I was playing through it, I was like, man, this feels so revolutionary for the time, especially with like the production values and like just like the cinematic experience, but also so archaic at the same time of like, oh, enemies just pop out of nowhere and just start shooting you, and it doesn't matter if you headshot them or not. They're just going to be giant bullet sponges the entire time, and all you're doing is like dive rolling behind cover trying to find ammo for all these random weapons. Also, don't throw a grenade at a box and then it bounces back at you and then you die. I did that plenty of times. Also, when somebody shoots an RPG at you and blows up the red barrels, you also die. But
no, I agree. I think you've nailed it on the head, because when I keep reminding myself that this was on PS3, I'm like, this actually is kind of, in a sense, ahead of its time. But then also, like you said, the combat, and I talked about it last week. I'm like, all right, this is where, if there was that rumored kind of complete remake, I'm like, man, this would be quite a banger if they did.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't. So I'm going to attribute this to Blue Point because I know that they really went in and fixed the mechanics of the game and made them all feel the same. But the gunplay feels a lot better than I remember it feeling back then. Like it feels like it's not amazing. It's not like Gears of War or like a standard third person shooter or whatever, but it felt way better than I remember it feeling.
I know those hitboxes sucked still. Like, I know I shot people in the head, but they're like, oh no, you shot me in the neck. Therefore, I have like 3 more hits, to take.
Yeah. That, and like, I don't know about you, but there would be times where I thought either I was really well hidden or their character model wasn't looking like they were aiming at you. But if you heard the bang, I got shot, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also there were times where I thought I was hiding because I saw a ton of enemies in front of me and I had just come from this hallway and I'm getting shot. I'm like, where am I getting shot from? And I turn the camera and there's guys behind me, like right where I came from. And I'm like, oh, well, that's that generation for you, I guess. Yeah. Also, Stephanie, I want to point out something that you said maybe last week. You just walk, like you're running through this hallway and you're like doing the platforming stuff and you're finding the treasures and stuff, and then you just come to this big like literal like circle with literal boxes and these archways and broken rocks and stuff that's clearly meant for cover, and you're like, oh well, here's a battle coming.
Guess tons of guns and ammo.
Yeah.
One other comment, and it's more like story related. It's not really a negative comment toward the game or the story. It's just more of a funny commentary, because anyway, I'll get to it. That twist it took with the cursed beings and then how the Nazis are involved. I don't know. I just kind of laugh because many times, I think we're starting to get away from it. We always kind of default to like the Nazis are involved. They're into the occult and all that stuff. And I think it's just, in a sense, it's kind of easy, because if you pick any other culture, race, ethnicity as the bad guy, then you'll ruffle up some feathers. So it's kind of always easy to go, oh, it was them dang Nazis.
Yeah, that Tomb Raiders, the Tomb Raider trilogy is experiencing that right now, where they had to put that big like thing in front of it, how they depicted cultures unfairly or whatever. Because you're like shooting, these I don't know, stereotypical tribal people in loincloths and like, face paint and stuff, and they're like chasing you, right? And you have to shoot them.
But the new ones are back in style again because you're shooting Russians.
It's fair.
I think Russians are like the next easy kind of bad guy target. It's either the Nazis or the Russians. I think we tried doing like a North Korea type thing in the movie, the Red Dawn, like the remake of Red Dawn. I don't know how that went, but like for the most part, it's like it's either Russians or Nazis. I don't know.
It didn't go that well. Red Dawn got banned overseas.
See, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there was like not the best consequences from that.
Crisis also had a problem too because the bad guys are Korean in that one.
Yeah, so there you go. So if we're thinking about like groups of people, so like I said, it's not a knock at the game or anything. It's just a funny observation. Like, I hate to say it, but the Nazis are kind of like, and Russians, like a default, okay to be a bad guy, and no one will get mad at you for it.
Yeah,
it makes, in terms of a cultural aspect, though, it does kind of make sense because Nazis were basically the last nation to be like massive art thieves. Like wherever they went, they stole artifacts, just from like every single country they went to.
Yeah, no, like it just makes sense. It's just I've been watching Indiana Jones with my son lately. Inscription, I don't want to spoiler that, but I'm just throwing out names of games I've been playing lately that I'll just stop there.
Let me tell you another one. Wolfenstein. Best Nazi game ever.
It's funny because if you go back and listen to some of the interviews with Amy Hennig when she was developing, like when she was writing this game, she really wanted to make an Indiana Jones game, and she put that in there as a kind of nod to Raiders because of the supernatural elements, and then the Nazis. You're fighting the Nazis clearly, but
I can see that.
Yeah. Also, by the way, did you watch Raiders with your son yet?
I did.
What did he? What did he say about the face melting?
Didn't bother him at all. He's like, "Oh, look at that! That's silly." I'm like, "Oh, okay." There was one thing that freaked him out in the movie, but it wasn't the face melting, which really shocked me. But you'll have to give me a minute to think about what it was. But he ended up loving it.
Propellers.
Yes, thank you. And it's kind of ironic because they don't show it. You just see the guy, the propeller, cut to the plane, and you see blood splatter. And he looks at me and goes, "I'm going to have nightmares about it." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I wonder if it's because that's a more realistic death than having your face melt by spirits.
True. And it's like leaving it to the imagination, which is kind of like why I texted you guys. We could different conversation for another day. I appreciate it because you can still make tell great stories, but you don't have to get into a lot of body horror and grossness. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to see a guy get chopped up by a propeller. My brain did that for me. So yeah, oddly enough, that was the thing that freaked him out. The face melting, totally no problem. I'm telling you, he loves Indy. He was asking me like how many movies there are, when can he watch the next one? And I'm like, I don't know if you're ready for Temple of Doom, buddy.
Temple of Doom was the one that gave me my first nightmare.
Yeah.
I would skip Temple of Doom if he's like, if you're not sure. Like I think Temple of Doom's okay to skip. I think it's the worst one in my opinion. But I'm a Crystal Skull defender.
I like Crystal Skull. But I don't think Crystal Skull is better than Temple of Doom.
Can I at least say from a kid's perspective?
It doesn't matter. Out of all 5 of them, like nothing beats Last Crusade.
Last Crusade's the best one.
Yep, that's the first one I showed Nikolai. He says it's his favorite too. But do you think he can stomach Crystal Skull?
Yeah, Crystal Skull should be fine. It's just Molaram from that and just all
the bullet ants.
All right, that's fine. So yeah, he loves him. He knows like the theme song. He just really looks up to him, and I'm like, thank you. See, he has a good role model now, not some stupid YouTuber.
It belongs in a museum.
I'm still trying to figure out like what your deal is with the YouTubers. We're fucking YouTubers. What's happening here?
People like Unspeakable Mr. Beast are good entertainers, but they are not role models for children.
I don't know. I
We
haven't seen
need.
anything. I haven't seen anything super heinous from Mr. Beast. Like he's always giving away. He's
I
always
didn't
giving
say
away shit.
heinous. LeRon, did you even read my editorial or whatever I wrote about role models? I didn't say he was heinous.
Uh-uh.
I just said they're not role models. There's a difference.
Uh.
Name a modern day Indiana Jones, a modern day. Well, James Bond's not a great role model.
Hold on. I
Like
grew
a
up in the. I
superhero.
grew up in the '80s. There, we didn't have a role model like Indiana Jones.
Terminator.
Well, I did. My bottom line is he has a character to look up to. Other than that, his other role model is Link, which I have no problem with.
I would have said something like Captain Kirk, but he was like a womanizer.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a good role model these days, because by the time you get like a movie that like seems somewhat, oh, that's a great role model for kids, it's canceled and it's like, off of Netflix for tax purposes because nobody watched it, or canceled, or
Okay, so we're looking. Okay, so we're just talking about how anything can be a role. Okay, I get it now. I thought we were just looking for real world role models, which is why I had the questions about like the YouTubers and the content creators and stuff like that. Yeah, there are some content creators that like should not be near your kids with a 10-foot pole. And then like I don't know, like if your son's nerd enough, have him start checking out Marcus Brownlee's stuff.
Okay, maybe I will. But yeah, no, that was my point. Like, for those that are interested, you could check out my editorial on bossrush.net. It's more of role models that show kids like the good values. So people like Mr. Beast aren't necessarily bad or horrible. I have no problem if my son wants to watch him, but a made up character like Link, or well, actually Indiana Jones is also made up too. They display courage, bravery. Indiana Jones isn't just an adventurer. He's a college professor. He's smart, accepting your destiny, like kind of stuff like values that he learns. This is great. Sorry, I never really thought about stuff like this until I had a kid. So
Link ain't that good of a damn role model. I remember the guy just bashing up in people's houses, like destroying their pottery and slashing chickens to death until like the great chicken armada comes for him.
Would you like me to crush your Indiana Jones role model theory?
No.
Yeah.
Corey's going to be the one that has like the hurt feelings. Oh yeah, that's right. Miriam, yeah.
Miriam was a minor when they had a relationship.
That girl was way too young for him.
Well, I didn't do the math on that one.
I was just a little girl.
That girl was way too young. If she's saying she was just a little girl, then yeah, red flag.
Yep.
Anyway, who wants to talk about what they've been playing next?
LeRon does. What?
Yeah. All right. I was going to say you kicked it off, but I wasn't sure if it was just because all three of us played Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean that's all I've been. I mean, I've been moving and trying to build furniture and move and work and move, and my office is almost completely empty. It's a dumpster fire in here right now of just like, we didn't move this stuff yet, but it's just laying here. So, yeah. Yep. Mounted my TV though. Very excited. Nice. Anyways, LeRon, what are you playing? What are you snacking on? First of all,
gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Classic snack.
Yep. So I'm still playing Tekken 8. I don't see myself stopping playing that anytime soon. Tekken 8 was like the major thing I've been playing. I did play Mario vs. Donkey Kong the first day I was out, and I fell in love with it again, just like how I fell in love with it back when it came out on the Game Boy Advance. I just love like the updated look and everything. Like, I mean, say what you will, like if Nintendo keeps doing it like this, I don't care. I really don't care. I haven't played enough Mario vs. Donkey Kong to like really like get into the details of it. I've only played like the first 3 stages and stuff. but I do love how fluid like the game moves. Because I have the old school one on emulators,
Mhm.
and I remember it moving kind of janky back then on the Game Boy. It moves kind of janky on like these emulators, even with like the high powered hardware like the ROG Ally, for example. But yeah, like they got this down to like it's like smooth like butter, like and it just feels nice, it flows nice, and like all the classic sounds are there and stuff like that, and I love like I have, even though I have not gotten to a real boss fight yet, I love the fact that like the minis that you rescue become like your minions, as you go do your boss fights and stuff like that, and maybe I'll beat this game because I never beat it on the Game Boy Advance.
I've heard, you know what these games remind me of, and I really liked this first game, the what Game Boy Advance one. I really liked it when I played it.
Mhm.
But this just reminds me of like, this is exactly what happened to stuff like Paper Mario, right? And it's like, man, I just want I want what Nintendo did with Donkey Kong 94 on the Game Boy, right? Where they like took that original game
That was good.
and they built upon it, right?
That
And
was
that's kind of
best Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and it's like that's kind of what this is, but kind of not. Kind of like Paper Mario is kind of Mario RPG, but kind of not. And how Mario and Luigi is kind of Mario RPG, but kind of not, right? Like,
yeah,
they split these franchises somewhere, and I would really like a new Donkey Kong puzzle platformer that's not Mario versus Donkey Kong,
But that's the thing about it, though. Like Mario vs. Donkey Kong became the puzzle platformer. Like like in all seriousness, if we want, and also if we want to look at it a certain way, Mario vs. Donkey Kong technically is Donkey Kong 4. Because it's got all the mechanics. Like you got my favorite of the Donkey Kong games from the old school days is Donkey Kong Jr. And the fact that Mario is doing all that crap that Donkey Kong DK Jr. was doing in like that original game is wild to me, and that was originally why I like gravitated to that game so much back in the day. And so like here it is getting a nice little shiny coat of wax, and I'm like, man, like let's do this, I'm having fun, just like how I was with Mario RPG. Like, man, like this nice coat of wax, man, yo, like let's do this, and you know what, I understand, because we did have a direct today, and a lot of the comments going around is saying like, it's all just remakes and remasters for Nintendo on the Switch and stuff like that. But if they're gonna do this and they're gonna do it this fucking well, keep fucking going, keep fucking going. Maybe when a remake and a remaster of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask comes around and makes the game, like fucking good, I'll play it. That's all I gotta say about this. Like if Nintendo, I'm gonna save this part for if we are gonna talk about the direct. I'm gonna save this part for it. But in all seriousness, like what Nintendo is doing is great right now, and everyone knows that I'm like one of the biggest fucking Nintendo naysayers around here. Like, I'm not their cheerleader and stuff like that. But I gotta say, the last year and a half, they've made me a very happy guy. Shoot, like I really wish new hardware would come out, but whatever. Like if they're gonna placate me with like more of this stuff, you know what? Do it. Give me the rest of the. Are all the GBA versions of the Super Mario series available now? Or are they? I think they're missing one, right?
I think the Mario.
We got Mario 3. We got Mario 2. We got Mario
the
3,
one
Mario
that would
2.
be missing would be Yoshi's Island, but I think we have
Yoshi's
that.
Island. Yeah.
Because Super Mario World is definitely on there.
But actually, you know what? They were lazy on Yoshi's Island because they didn't do any real work on Yoshi's Island for that Game Boy Advance re-release.
Well, they did. They took out Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy and they changed a bunch of levels that revolved around that mechanic. That's why nobody liked it.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I didn't really miss it.
I mean, I didn't either. I think Yoshi's Island is overrated. I don't care about Yoshi's Island at all.
I love Yoshi's Island until the kid gets knocked off his back, and then the game becomes not my friend.
But then the Yoshi's Island purists will be like, get good, and the baby won't fly off your back.
They can say whatever they can say whatever they want. I've never seen anyone do a perfect run of Yoshi's Island. Like, and if there is, like, someone link me a Let's Play on YouTube so I can see this. I've never seen anyone do a perfect run of Yoshi's Island to where like they never lose Mario or Baby Luigi off their back. And aren't there some parts where you actually have to like yeet them for a moment to like get?
There are moments where you have to like
Yeah,
play through the level without them, and you have to catch them on the other side of whatever you're doing. Yeah. So
yeah. So yeah, like that's been it. Like it feels like like the rush of gaming releases are slowing down. Even though I know next week is like like Dragon's Dogma and Final Fantasy and wait, no, Dragon's Dogma is in March. I'm sorry, but it's Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy gets its chance to glow on its own and stuff like that. But the Final Fantasy train is going to run over the Dragon Dogma train, even though Dragon Dogma is like a hot commodity. Like people want that game and stuff like that. But
I think everybody got out of the way of Final Fantasy, is my opinion.
yeah, because Dragon's Dogma 2 and there's another game that's coming out the same day. Is it an Ubisoft game?
It's Super Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that one's safe. Like that one's safe. Like Nintendo knows like it's a different class than than Dragon's Dogma, so they don't really care about that. Like like they're the Nintendo shills are going to buy that game anyway.
Yeah, I kind of think Princess Peach looks interesting.
I don't.
No, my daughter's also very excited for it. So
I mean, yeah,
she likes the costume. She likes the costumes. I don't even think she knows it's a game, but she likes the costumes and everything. So we'll see if I'll let her play it with me or play it at all. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't really have any like real interest in that game. Like Super Princess Peach was good though. I enjoyed that, but I don't have any real interest in this game. Maybe it'll surprise me because there was a time when I wasn't interested in Luigi's Mansion and when I got that freebie for on the 3DS, in that bundle, I was like, oh man, like I've been sleeping on this.
Yeah, 2's the best one, and we're getting an HD remaster this year, so
yeah,
agreed.
I mean, Princess Peach is the only new Nintendo game coming out so far. Everything else is literally a remake or a remaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, aside from like third-party games, I guess, like Prince of Persia, which is awesome. But I'm playing it on
Yes,
Xbox.
that's everything I've been playing.
Stephanie?
Well, in addition to Uncharted, played a bit more Tekken 8. I started the story mode or the campaign mode. Wow, very cinematic-y and full of flash. And I realized late into the night that I couldn't play with LeRon because I don't have PlayStation Plus anymore. Boo.
Oh,
But
Rip.
yeah, Tekken 8's super fun. Easy to pop it in, play a few rounds. It's great. I still button mash no matter how much I try to actually remember combos, but it is what it is. I've accepted who I am as a button masher. And I started Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, so I don't have much to say about it yet, but it's once again one of the many games in my backlog that I'm really mad that I never played sooner because even just the first 30 minutes was such a mental trip for me. But I liked it because I've never seen anything like it before.
Mm-hmm.
Really incredible. I'm like, damn.
Are you playing with
I'm
headphones?
not this first time, but I will because I know it's best served playing as headphones. It had to do with like my son and being able to hear him. But when I play it again when he's not around, I'm absolutely immersing myself with my headphones. So
I think so the first time I played it, second time I played it, I 1K'd it on Xbox. I'm thinking about platinuming it on PlayStation now.
yeah.
Also played the Switch version, which is interesting.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's not as good, we'll say.
Okay. I'm playing it, believe it or not, on my Steam Deck. I must have got it when it was on sale, so it just was sitting there. So get to play it in handheld.
Nice. I think it was like $3 on Steam for like a couple months at one point. Yeah, it was on sale for a while. But yeah, I love Hellblade. I can't wait to play it again. I don't know. It's trippy. It's trippy. So,
And that's it.
yeah, I guess that leaves Pat.
Yeah. So I also been playing Mario versus Donkey Kong, and I gotta say it definitely is a great remake of the GBA version. I managed to beat the first set of levels. The game gives you the credits halfway through the game, and then sends you to a plus levels. So it's like a whole another set of 8 worlds that you get to go through, but with kind of a different twist to the puzzle.
That's new. I hadn't unlocked that yet.
Yep. So there are 8 worlds that you go through, and it's each one starts introducing a different mechanic into it, so that once you're finally at the 8th world, it does get pretty hard at times, and you have to kind of do the puzzle right, or else you end up either losing lives or having to retry because you're running out of time. Uh, but the game overall is a lot of fun. It's very pretty to look at. Like LeRon said, it's a hell of a lot more fluid in terms of the movements. I will say my big complaint though is that like the hitboxes in it are just very weird. Like I've tried jumping on top of bad guys only to like literally be like maybe a quarter on them, but going right through
Yeah,
them,
the hitbox is a
and
little wonky.
and then you die because you
Yeah.
technically touched the
Yeah,
bad guy.
if I'm not mistaken, I feel like the hitbox is worse in this remake than it was in the original.
It kind of feels that way, and I don't know why. But it's annoying when I'm just trying to jump on top of a bad guy, just kind of miss falling directly center on top of him and then losing a life and doing that like 5 times.
Yeah.
But that is my only complaint I have with this game. I will say the biggest surprise is that this game has a killer soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It has got some really good jazz music going on in some of the levels. It's the snow level has a very enchanting soundtrack. One of the forests has a very enchanting soundtrack. Like the music is way too good for a puzzle game, in my opinion. But I'm really digging it. Like it's a lot of the soundtrack I feel actually helps keep me calm if I'm starting to get stressed out. Like it's a very good mix. But overall, yeah, the game's definitely a lot of fun. It's not your traditional Mario, so don't go in it thinking it's a 2D platformer. Go in expecting it to be a puzzle platformer. And overall, like I liked it. I plan on. I haven't called myself as completing it yet because I want to get through the plus levels and then get the true ending by going through the plus levels.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Other than that, I did play 2 new things today because of the Nintendo Direct. I got to play the demo for Devolver Digital
Yep,
Devolver
Devolver Digital.
Digital's. Yeah, sorry. Pepper Grinder, where you play as a little girl who gets shipwrecked and all her treasure gets stolen, and she stumbles onto this giant ass drill, and you go through the levels using this drill to kind of get you like it helps move you around. You go into like drill mode and you can drill underground, and it's the typical kind of drill mechanics where it's automatically moving you and you have to tilt the controller a little bit to turn around. You've probably experienced it in other games, but the mechanic is used to help like speed up because you burst out of the ground. It definitely gives you more height than just jumping, and then you use it to like traverse through the rest of the level by jumping into one dirt pile and going through another dirt pile. There's little secrets that you can find, a lot of treasure to try and collect. It's a very cute, pixelated platformer.
Nice.
that I actually found myself really enjoying, and I will probably now pick it up when it becomes available in March. But
Nice.
Wow.
that demo is free. Definitely check it out. I got a few other demos as well. I picked up the Unicorn Overlord, but I haven't had a chance to try that one. So,
That
you
game
know,
looks weird.
I really want to try it because I'm still on the fence. Like I'm most probably gonna get it, but I want to experience it. But the other one I picked up was Contra Operation Galuga.
Ooh, from our friends from Way Forward. I'm trying to schedule
Nice.
them to come back on the podcast to talk about Contra.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, this is very interesting. This is a complete remake of Contra, and just from what I experienced of it, it's like the levels aren't going to be the same, but it's going to be like the same feeling. Like you're going through the jungle, and then you have this like little base part, and then you're starting to climb up the waterfall, like just kind of the original Contra. But you get the choice of who you want to play as your character. I believe there'll be more unlockable characters based on the little trailer that they had in the Nintendo Direct. And each one kind of has their own perks that you can add onto it and kind of changes up the gameplay. Like I played as the main guy, I forget what his name was, but some the perks I attached to him was he's invincible when he's dashing, and when he dies, he still retains his special weapon. It has multiple degrees of difficulty. I was playing it on normal and I was getting my ass kicked. You can also change whether you want to have a hit bar, which is 3 hits, or you die on 1 hit, like traditional Contra. But all the weapons are there. You got your machine gun, your spread gun, your laser flamethrower, but they also have an overload feature where you can sacrifice the weapon for a really powerful attack. Which was kind of neat. Like the spread, all of a sudden, like the spread bullets were just like bouncing off all the walls and just like ricocheting and just shredding up all the enemies that way. It has a story mode that was going on that was very reminiscent of like Metal Gear Solid almost. Like you had your colonel who was giving your characters the orders. You had your science geek, your like special ops geek, just all these other people kind of radio and talking to you throughout throughout the level and like just in the beginning cutscene. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But they definitely revamped some of those boss fights. It's plays like Contra, but it's also new. Like it's not gonna be what you think it was.
nice.
So, yep. Other than that, it's been more Persona. I'm like 55 hours into that game now. Still going.
Nice.
I'm speaking of Persona, I told you I downloaded the original Final Fantasy VII, but I also downloaded Persona 3 Portable on the Switch, which I know is kind of considered the worst one that's readily available right now. But also, like, I've also heard it's the shortest and it's really not that bad.
Thing that makes that one different is that it takes the standard level. Well, I mean, you still have your dungeons, but the things outside the dungeons are now a visual novel form.
Yeah. Well, it's fine for me, I guess.
Also, it's the only one where you can play the female main character.
It's true. I've heard that too, which I don't understand why that's I mean,
Why
never mind.
that's a hot trigger right now for people.
Never mind. Reverse that thought.
I mean, it is interesting. Like a lot of people are ripping on Reload because it doesn't have the female main character.
Yeah, but
it's
isn't there
not that
DLC coming? Didn't they already confirm that DLC was coming?
DLC's coming. It's pretty much confirmed the female's still not getting a story. But the DLC seems to confirm that the Fez epilogue chapter is coming.
Mm.
So at least that's going to be nice. But they would have to remake Social Links to do the female one, and that's maybe in like 3 years if Atlas keeps on with its trends of re-releasing games with a little extra content.
Oh, you mean like Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance that was announced today?
Yep.
Oh man, that was funny. That's funny. Oh, good times. Good on you, Atlas.
I'm sour, but also I'm excited.
I want to shout out Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE Encore, the best Persona game.
That was actually pretty good.
That's amazing.
Persona 5 Royal is the best, but that, you know what, Mirage was nice.
Switch exclusive. It's a Fire Emblem crossover Persona game, which is amazing. That's why it's my favorite.
Persona game has
Also
Fire Emblems as your Persona.
Also, the only Fire Emblem or the only Persona S game that I've ever played more than an hour of.
So. I mean, that's the style of the game. It's you have your daily life, and then you have a dungeon that you crawl through.
Yeah, I miss the Wii U functionality of the cell phone, though. Not gonna lie to you. Got to go into a menu now. Gross. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
Menus.
Speaking of the Wii U,
we
should probably talk about this partner direct that's full of remakes and remasters.
It was only half remakes and remasters.
We're gonna talk about that first.
What?
We're gonna talk about that first.
Yeah, we'll just hit on it real quick.
Okay.
What, is it not first on the thing?
No, it's not.
Oh, you're right, it's not. Oh well, we're gonna do that first anyway.
I swear to God.
Throwing LeRon for a loop here.
Oh well.
I mean, why do we even have this thing?
I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say? Who's to say? You know, just exists. It exists for us to look professional in case anybody ever looks at our stuff. Anybody think the partner direct was like fine?
Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, it was.
I think anyone who was upset about no major quote unquote games came out have their panties in a bunch, because anyone who knows anything about what's going on is the Switch predecessor is coming, whether it's this year or next year, depending on what rumor you want to believe in.
You mean successor?
Successor. What did I say? Successor?
You said predecessor.
Predecessor? Ooh, opposite. Successor.
That means the Wii U's coming back.
Yeah, Wii U Classic. The Wii U Mini Classic.
I got them reversed. Successor. Sorry, successor. Anyway, it's coming. Set your expectation, guys. So that's why, like, even though I wasn't 100% thrilled by it, I thought it was fine. Nothing wrong with it. A little bit of variety. The ones I'm really most excited for, probably should click on the link, but it was the one with Mickey in it, and that cool the scrolling along game. You know, I gotta just find it. Hold on.
Scrolling along game. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Arranger.
Sorry, Arranger. Yes, Arranger. Thank you very much. And then Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed. Those are my two.
Can't wait for Epic Mickey. I found my Epic Mickey poster from when that game came out originally. I think I'm the only person that bought the collector's edition with the Mickey Mouse statue and the nunchuck brush into your Wii remote. Man, that first game was awesome. Warren Spector, shout out, of Deus Ex and Thief fame, and System Shock.
Second game, not so much.
Yeah, second game was To be fair, the second game was rushed out in like 18 months in a time when games were starting to take longer than 3 years to make. So, yeah. First game, though. Great. Underrated, I think. I'm glad it's coming to more platforms.
I'm tempted to pick it up again.
Oh, and the big part of it is very obvious that there are Xbox Studio games. Like this is kind of, I mean, it makes sense now that this happened after the podcast because, whatever.
I'm shocked Hi-Fi Rush was not part of this direct.
No, it's only PlayStation. Oh, actually, yeah, that is. It's only been announced for PlayStation right now.
Yeah, it's I'm shocked. I thought that was a surefire hit on the Switch.
Especially because they had the merchandise.
Yeah.
Maybe it just needs more polish.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Most games getting ported to the Switch are usually delayed. So, and the PS5 is relatively similar to the Xbox in terms of infrastructure. So,
no, I thought this direct was, it had a good mix of games. Some of the ones that stood out to me, obviously, was the Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, which I read more into it. It's basically a whole new route for Game 5. Like, they now consider they considered two routes now. The original game is called the Creation route, and now the new one's the Vengeance route. So that what sucks though is that your original file is not able to be ported over to the new game. You will have to start the new game over again if you want to do that. And they said they've improved the original route as well. So there's more content to that. It's basically going to be like 2 80-hour routes in this game that you can choose from. So it's going to be a huge ass game, like most Shin Megami games are. They're introducing 40 more demons, and I guess the benefit, if you did own the original game, you can port 3 of your demons from the original game over to the new one. But
okay,
that one looked cool. I was also interested in that Endless Ocean actually does look pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that looks like a nice, chill, relaxing game as long as you don't have to play with 30 other players.
My thing is like, why do you end on that game?
Yeah.
There were like 3 or 4 other games you could have ended on that would have been way better, and they're not even like big games. I don't know. That was just weird. I mean, I know that game was huge on Wii, but like,
yeah, I agree. Like that wasn't a bad announcement. I just kind of was like, that's the choice for the last one. Whatever.
The Ender's Magnolia looked pretty awesome.
That game looks cool.
I need to get back and finish Ender Lilies. But yeah, the sequel looks amazing. And of course, Fantasy Life is something I really hope to get into here.
Yes, I want to get that too.
I'm surprised how late it's coming out though.
October 10th, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But seems like again, a lot of like ports or remasters or like expansions to games. Because Fantasy Life came out on the 3DS, right? The first one.
3DS. This is actually this is a whole new game. This isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if this is like, hey, we're putting it out here because we kind of know the next console is going to be backwards compatible, so we hope you continue to play it when that comes out.
Well, I'm just happy Level 5 is making games again. When they said that they were done, or at least done like on the Western side, that was sad. But now we have a whole lineup like Fantasy Life, the Dodeca Police or whatever later, And of course, the new Professor Layton coming out in
Mhm.
2025.
World of Steam, the new World of Steam, I think is what it's called.
Yep, and
Very
it
excited.
looked amazing.
I love Professor Layton. Give me
Me
those.
too.
Give me those collections.
I know.
Where are those at? We got
Where are those?
fucking Phoenix Wright. Who fucking cares? Give me some Professor Layton.
Hell, you can make 2 editions. You can have like the first trilogy and then the second trilogy,
Right.
which is a prequel.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I wonder if
Fuck
they're going to have
Phoenix Wright. I need
Katrina.
Professor Layton.
I wonder if they're going to have, was it Katrina or Katarina Layton?
Yeah,
I wonder if she's
something
coming back.
I don't know. That game's on Switch, right? That game's
Yep.
on Switch.
Yeah, that one has a Switch version. I thought I had it.
I think I have it too. I think I bought it and then I didn't play it because I read reviews that said it's not Professor Layton. And I'm like, oh.
It's not as good, I will say that, but it's still it's a decent success, like attempt. I'm
Maybe
gonna
look at
find
that.
that one.
These backlogs, man. These backlogs are just. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, Epic Mickey's the only game that I kind of have circled as like a must buy. I'm interested enough in Monster Hunter Stories because I liked the second one and I never played the first one, but I don't know. Everybody online says that the first one was just like kind of okay and the second one is way better and it's
Second
not
one is
worth
way
going
better.
back.
I will
So-
agree with that.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but I
waste my
mean,
money on that.
in all honesty, I'm not going to tell anyone not to get it. I just don't feel like I just don't feel like I have any plans on revisiting it, especially given that unless they're going to give us all the content that was included for the game, because like in the States, like we only got like we didn't even get half of like the content that Japan got post game.
Mhm.
And post game, Japan got a lot of stuff. I think ultimately it was just said that the game didn't sell enough units for them to worry about like localizing and sending the rest of the stuff over there. I think that's what the excuse was. But you know, if they can confirm that all the content that was available for Monster Hunter Stories 1 is coming, I will double dip. If not, though, like I mean, I don't. It's not that big of as much as I love Monster Hunter, and I do love the Monster Hunter Stories franchise because like that feels like the real RPG of the series. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
you know, like as much as I love it and everything, like 1 was a wonderful game. I loved it. I loved the story and everything. The first game I ever bought amiibos for, like all these back here, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe my amiibos will work on that.
You know what? I just looked. I didn't have the Switch version. I had the 3DS version.
Yeah, well, speaking of like things that aren't coming to the US or only in Japan, I guess Mother 3 is in development, but only for Japan.
Great. I'm sure all 5 people who really care are crying their eyes out, and then the rest of the internet is just, you know, flailing about because, you know, everybody loves Mother.
I want to shout out Celeste for and her boyfriend or now husband, who has modified my 3DS to play Mother 3 in English.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Did you play it yet in English?
I played a bit of it.
You're supposed to say no so I can make fun of you, but
Yeah,
I
sorry.
can't make fun of you. So
I didn't beat it yet, but you know,
talk about the most overrated Nintendo series, Earthbound.
It's so good though, so good, so
Is it?
weird.
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
That music.
Tell the clearance bin at Toys R Us when I was like 9 years old.
Oh,
Well, whoever got them from the clearance bin
I know.
became very fucking rich later.
I know. I think about that quite often.
No, I think I have a copy of Earthbound. I don't have the guide, but I have the game.
My copy of Earthbound is on the toilet paper roll waiting to be used and flushed down the toilet later.
Son of a bitch. Make
Jesus
Gigas
Christ.
curse you.
Oh,
It made
man.
Pokey come and, stab you with a knife or something like he threatens.
I don't know what any of that means.
Well, that's because you need to play the game.
No. Nope. Mm-mm. I tried once on the Wii U of all places. I tried, and not for me. Not for me. All right, let's get into the real topic. Unless anybody has anything else they want to talk about this direct. The Nintendo Switch Online stuff, the rare stuff. Interesting.
I was hoping for a rare replay, but I'll still take it.
Yeah,
I
they
just
were
wanted Donkey Kong
supposedly,
64.
apparently, the stars in the background have silhouettes of other rare characters that are apparently being teased for future Nintendo Switch Online stuff.
Okay.
That's what people are saying on the internet. Who knows how real that is? But
I was happy for Killer Instinct, but now I think about it, like the only Killer Instinct I really want to play is just like the actual arcade, like the arcade version on emulator for KI1 and 2. Like I as much as I loved playing Killer Instinct Gold on the Nintendo 64, I feel like the experience was kind of subpar, for that system.
I will say I did get a little nostalgic with Snake Rattle and Roll and RC Pro AM. Those games were pretty rad back in the day.
Well,
Yeah,
Blast Core. Did anyone play Blast Core?
I did.
Yeah, I played that.
It's okay.
The
I don't
N64
know how
was
well-
like a big blemish in my gaming career.
Yeah, I don't really know how much it holds up. I didn't play that much of it though, to be fair. So
It's Banjo-Tooie or Banjo-Kazooie on the online store?
it's the first one.
The first one? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to play Tooie still.
Yeah, that's available on Xbox through Rare Replay.
Yeah.
I would play the Xbox versions of Banjo-Kazooie if you want controls that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love the Nintendo 64, but man, those controls for most games do not hold up.
My gosh, the Donkey Kong 64.
Hmm.
Yet I want that too.
Remember when they added guns to Donkey Kong 64 and you had like the bazooka and the peanut shooters?
Peanut
Diddy Kong?
pistols.
Yeah, the peanut pistols, the pea shooter.
Pineapple shotgun or whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
Chunky Kong. Yeah.
So good. Good job. Good job, Nintendo. Good on you. Speaking of, I'm trying to find where they were saying there are rare characters in these star patterns, and I can't tell. So, I don't know. I think people are just making stuff up now.
So sneaky McSneaks. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to talk about their favorite YouTubers, podcasters, and influencers?
Yeah.
Me. I'm my favorite. The end.
Well, Nintendo Pow Block became one of my favorites. That's how I heard of you guys, and then I reached out to you guys, and now I've assimilated myself into the community by force.
Assimilated. You became a leader of them.
Yeah, Stephanie's taking over. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm stepping down and Stephanie's going to run the company now. I'm just leaving.
Makes sense.
Bye. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would love that. Anyways, who wants to jump on in?
I can just start quick as far as YouTubers, and I have plenty of podcast favorites, but with YouTubers, because mine's simple. Mine's just one because I'm lame and I don't like to explore. I just like old-fashioned Markiplier. I know it's like a pretty cliche answer, but I like the way he records, and because I'm such a wuss with horror games, he has a lot of like 3 scary video games playlists, so I can live vicariously through him. So that's my quick and wicked right there.
I will say Yahtzee is my YouTuber. Just with his before it was Zero Punctuation from Escapist, but then after the Escapist Fallout, he does full of emblematic for Second Wind. And I don't know, he's just got this sense of humor that I enjoy. Most of the time he shits on the games, but every once and then again, you'd be surprised that he has nice things to say. Even Persona 3, like he knew it was gonna be garbage, but at the same time, he's also addicted to it.
I'm gonna reach out to Nick Calandra and see if he'd be willing to come on our show.
Who? Oh yeah, the guy who
The
caused the
former-
revolution.
Yeah. I don't know. He seems to be doing a lot of podcast appearances, smaller
I'd
ones.
say
So
do
I
it.
wonder if he'd
Bring
come
him and
on.
Yahtzee.
Oh, I bet they would, right? I mean, they're not busy.
Cool. Never.
So that story though is really, I'm glad they found success, because like the Escapist like was like the alternative to, they were like the complete opposite of like Kotaku, right? Like they just sort of like, and then that fallout happened, and I'm just like, oh man, that really sucks, because they were like the one outlet I like kind of paid attention to semi seriously, but like the website, not like the video content. Like I had never even heard of Yahtzee. I just read the content and listened to Nick Calandra on other podcasts.
You know what? That reminds me, Donkey. I love his videos.
I've never watched a Donkey video.
They're hilarious.
I think the only one that I saw was when he played through Resident Evil 4 remake, and then I'm like, I wish I started watching his stuff sooner.
Yeah, it's some of the funnier ones too is where he doesn't even say a damn thing. Like he literally grabs what other people have said, and it's just, you can see the mockery, just of his message of what they're trying to say, and how they constantly contradict themselves. Like he knows how to be comedic with his stuff.
He kind of advertised with the creator behind Animal Well, and he was at a PAX event. I wasn't sure if it was East or West last year.
It was East.
And of course, I missed it. I hope he's there this year, because I know Animal Well has a booth, but probably not. I don't know.
He's a Wisconsin native.
Okay.
So
maybe.
Though I think he lives in a town that's like an hour away.
Oh, cool.
Nice. LeRon, what about you? What OnlyFans do you subscribe to these days?
Oh, you really want to know?
I'll let you know. Should we say this for the next show?
Let me see. Some of my favorite YouTubers out there, honestly, like most of mine are either in the tech field or their podcast shows, similar like us. So like, for example, like one of my all-time favorite since I've discovered him is the Skill Up channel. I keep forgetting the guy's name that runs it, because he doesn't always say his name, which is cool. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, like I listen like every week when his This Week in Games show comes out. Like I have my notifications on, and I always tune into it. Also the Spawn Wave channel. They're basically like gaming news, like daily, pretty much. So that guy, I mentioned earlier to Steph, like introduce her son, Marcus Brownlee. Like he's a tech YouTuber. He reviews some of the coolest shit, for everything from phones to TVs to cars, all sorts of stuff. Like, and he's been doing that since he was a very young teenager. Like his parents like support him. They saw like he had the passion for it, and they let him do it, and now he's a grown ass man. Like I think he's married and everything, and yeah, like he's living the dream.
Nice.
Let's see. Another influencer I like is Harris Heller. I learned so much. From him and his team. When I was getting into the YouTube game and stuff like that. For doing your setups, everything from OBS to OBS to video rendering. He mainly uses Premiere. And stuff like that, but he's flexible. He'll try everything out. Like I don't think I've ever seen him do anything for DaVinci Resolve, which is like what I started using, because I needed the free option and not just a cracked version, from the internet somewhere of like an Adobe product, but yeah. Harris Heller and he's got a couple of channels like Senpai Gaming, and also he's like a source if you want copyright free music and stuff like that. Like he has like an entire just subdivision that's nothing but like original music and stuff like that you can do all copyright free. And one thing you really have to do is just know like you just have to like download like the acknowledgement about that about it and stuff like that, and that's it. Like you yeah. So a lot of the YouTubers and stuff I watch is that mainly it's the stuff that interests me. Every now and then something will get me, like right now I'm watching all sorts of Tekken stuff because I follow the fighting game community and stuff like that. So this new Tekken game has been like just galore, nothing but like tutorials, fight videos, like techniques and all this stuff. If I were to shout out somebody right now, in the Tekken community that's doing really good stuff, PHIDX, PHIDX, like he has some insane freaking like tutorials and walkthroughs and stuff like that, and every time he has something that comes up, I always check it out and stuff like that, and I feel like, and I'm not sure if it's Tekken 8 that I'm so much better in, because like I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 2, and I played every mainstream Tekken game from Tekken 3 to Tag Tournament 4 to 5 to Dark Resurrection to 6 to Tag Tournament 2 to 7 to 8. I played every mainstream Tekken game, and stuff like that, and I feel like just some of the stuff I've gleaned off him has just made me a better character. Like I'm in the highest levels ranked now in Tekken 8 than I ever reached in Tekken 7. And stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of podcasters, YouTubers, and influencers that I do listen to, but I listen to the ones that realistically line up to what I want to do or where I want to be. Like I said, for example, Skill Up's weekly show. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, and dude, I'm probably going to copy a whole bunch of your formula for the relaunch of Crossroads. I'm being for real, because honestly, and like the four of us, we gel very well and stuff like that. But the wind came out of my sails every time like somebody was like, "Hey, I don't think I'm coming back to the show," and stuff like that. I've been doing the show for 3 years, and stuff like that. And it was getting harder and harder. Like, I'm not saying we had to do like a casting call or whatnot, but it was getting harder and harder to like see if anyone was interested in coming onto it. And I get it; it's a commitment, because we record 2.5, 3 hours a night, when we do our recordings and stuff like that. And yeah. And then, like I understand, like depending on where you're at in your life right now, like you're in college, or your job position is changing, your home life's changing, you got kids and stuff like that. I get it, stuff like that. So I can't like ask people to do something, especially right now, because I'm not monetized, and like I have no way of like I can't even like throw out some $5 to somebody that's contributing to the team and stuff like that, to make them feel some type of special, so I get it. So that's been my thing right now. Like I've been paying attention to a lot of these shows that are very adjacent to what we do at Boss Rush and what I was doing with Crossroads and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just do like a lot of other people have done, where like they run it solo until they get big enough to where they have to hire somebody. Yeah. So like I said, Skill Up channel, like don't be mad if like some of my stuff looks like yours. I won't steal your thumbnails or your layouts or whatnot.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Oh, I got lists. Like it's funny because like back in the day, YouTube, I thought YouTube was like the biggest waste of time, but like especially like like all the nonsensical stuff you would see, like like YouTube was basically like a video version of 4chan. That was really what YouTube was like back in the day, like in the wild west of YouTube, and depending on how long you've been on YouTube, like you guys probably remember like the old template look for YouTube, just like a lot of people remember the old template look for MySpace, and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
I remember
MySpace.
And I was like, I was like, my God, like, I mean, like, why are you wasting your time? And technically, people probably look at me and the time I spend on YouTube as a waste of time too. But a lot of stuff like I look at aligns to my interests or aligns to like something that I want to use for my business model for like my own content creation. Because I mean, like, if it gets any more destitute, like there will be a fans only account or something that gets started. Like I like where I'm at with my job and stuff, but sometimes like having a second revenue stream is like the way to do it. Yeah. So I mean, and you know what? I want to say this, Corey, because you and I we're practically partners here in this boss rush thing, and you know what? I will say this, man. I look up to you, like you've helped me out with like getting assets for like my channels and stuff like that. Like I have like no artistic, like like I can write all day long, but I have like no artistic like. I can't put together my own layouts and stuff for like Twitch, YouTube live streams and stuff like that. All the like the teaser reels and all that stuff you do, like all the artwork for the thumbnails and all that stuff for the shows and stuff like that. Like, dude, uh, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, LeRon's in love with Corey," but you know what? Like, I love you, dude, because like you've helped me out tremendously over the last almost 4 years now.
Well, I'm trying. I just want us all to succeed, and that's
even your dinky little Nintendo show. Yeah, I like it too.
I know. Yeah, it's fine sometimes. Yeah, I just speaking of YouTube stuff, like LeRon, we need to get together and talk about some things at some point. I know we kind of discussed doing that at some point, but we just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, life just gets in the way. Yeah. And real fast, Pat, everything that you guys did for the EXP cast, like I paid attention, I took notes on all that stuff too. Like, like you guys who are my peers, like I learned a lot from you guys, like cuz I still feel like I'm a fledgling creator and stuff like that, even though I have people ask me all the time like like stuff about editing videos and all that stuff. Like I get questions all the time for that, so especially people that I know, like just in like my friends and stuff. They're like, wow, you did all that stuff. I'm like, this is nothing good. This is nothing good. I'm just kind of like OCD, so like like there's a reason why like sometimes I'm absolutely like tired, like after I recorded a Crossroads show, and then like it goes up on stream 2 days later and stuff like that. Like I lose a lot of sleep just getting it edited and put together and stuff like that. And like people love it, and I'm glad for that. I wish I'd get DMs and stuff. For people, I get some asking like, hey, where's the show? Like, what are you doing and stuff like that. And I'm trying to do a relaunch. But I'm also trying to take back my original YouTube channel, my Exodus 803 channel. I'm trying to take that back because like it just got overrun with the Crossroads stuff, which I'm not saying this as in a bad way. Just got overrun with Crossroads to the point where like like the algorithm, like the only thing the algorithm will do now is like send people that way for just podcasts. And that's a growing pain. Like you have to learn this stuff and figure things out. And like I said, guys like Harris Heller and like some of the people that like give all this wonderful advice about being content creators and stuff like that. Like they eventually got down to it and they're like, like if your channel is just this, but you want it to be this, you're gonna have to make a second channel. So guess who's making a second channel? Guess who's making a second and a third channel right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've even talked about that with some of the stuff that we want to do, right? Like, is this channel just going to be the podcast channel? And that's kind of, I mean, if we want to do Let's Plays or streams or stuff, they've got to be on a separate channel because the algorithm's going to be so messed up, we won't get anybody. So
yeah, I'm gonna take all the Crossroads, all the Crossroads stuff, all the Crossroads stuff, all the Let's Plays, all the shorts and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to take them and move them over to a completely different channel and let Exodus 803 reset so it can become my nerd channel like I originally wanted it to be, like back in 2020.
Yeah, kind of sucks that you have to do that, but
hey, you gotta play the game. And you know what? If I was good enough at editing and making shorts and stuff like that, I would be monetized right now because the route to getting monetized, if you're doing shorts, like the route to getting monetized is so freaking fast, and they have made a few changes, but like overall, like the general guideline is still the same, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I just gotta learn the technique and just start making the content. If anything, I could probably start making shorts out of all like the content I already have, and just be like blast from the past and stuff like that, things of that nature, or just if I had an actual office, not my bedroom, because that's kind of a sticking point for me right now. Like I'm way too proud to blur out the background because like like with the way my hair is right now, like I wind up looking like that shield matrix thing from the Borg when I move around, so like like I would blur out the background if I had like a really good green screen technology, or even like like even better like just green screen tech, in my graphics card, stuff like that. I have a 3090, and yeah, that's pretty good. That was like the cream of the crop for his generation, and it's only one generation behind, stuff like that. But I just don't like it. So I'd rather just have an office, and like, oh my god, me and my boyfriend are gonna have to fight about our shared office because I told him I was like I guess we're gonna have to share an office, and I'm sorry right now if it winds up looking like something from the Tron movie, I'm sorry. I don't know how you. I hope you learn how to teach in that environment because that's what it's gonna look like.
That's about where I'm at right now too. That's why I've kind of paused all my ideas until we move, because I've had some for like 5 months, and I'm like, gotta get into that office space, because like, I mean, I have an office here, but it's like there's no doors right on it. There's 2 huge openings. Like the hallway leads to my kids' bedrooms. It's like, if I start yelling or like talking real loud or projecting my voice, like,
yeah,
I don't know. When we move, I'm probably going to sound a little bit different on this show, because I'm going to be able to like project my voice instead of like trying to keep quiet.
I think you sound fine now, though. Like you sound crystal clear in the headset. I don't know how I sound because that's another thing I want to do. I need to because I have like a 49-inch ultra wide monitor, and I have no way, like my microphone is off to the side, so sometimes I probably sound like I'm coming in from far away, and other times like my camera setup, my camera is not straight in front of me, it's like up. It's like up at an angle, so I have to look up at it. But for me to keep an eye on what you guys talk about and stuff like that, it looks like I'm looking down all the time. And it looks even worse if I have to like look at my phone for a second, because then it looks like, oh, he just fell asleep on stream. And stuff like that. So I gotta get better key lights, because like if I make one adjustment to my key lights, it's dark. Stuff like that. Like shoot, like I'm going to drive myself insane just trying to have the perfect channel. And like all the influencers and the YouTubers I listen to are like, don't try to be perfect, just try to be yourself. But it's like I'm trying to be the next Marvel Entertainment, like Marvel Studios. I'm trying to have like the best look, the flashiest thing, the crispest sound, like, and then somewhere I'll make content.
That's how it works.
Yeah. I wish I could listen to myself as an influencer or YouTuber. Maybe I don't know. Like it's not humility that I'm looking for. Maybe it's more. Maybe I have way too much modesty. Like I feel like
Yes, that's what I think of when I think of LeRon Dawkins. Modesty, humble.
I am the humblest person alive.
Okay,
Don't
so
let anyone else tell you otherwise.
One thing I've learned in the business world is like if you don't have excitement and you don't talk about your product, nobody's going to think about your product and stuff like that. So like I might talk like I'm the shiz, but in my head I'm like I am not. Because if I was, I'd have like I'd already have the gold and the platinum YouTube plaque. I'd already have like like getting checks every 2 weeks from Twitch, whatnot, things like that, but I'm not. And also at the same time, even when it gets to that point, like you can lose it real quickly. Like it doesn't take much to get demonetized. It does not take much. It does not take much to get copyright stricken. You just got you got to know all the ins and outs, and it's like and it's almost like having a it's almost like being in the cave with a map, a torch, and some really worn in hiking boots and stuff like that. Like you just gotta know the landscape and you gotta know how to navigate it, the terrain and stuff like that. So
Yep.
yeah, all those people I just name dropped, you guys are awesome, and that also includes you, Corey, you, Stephanie, and you, Pat.
Aw, thanks. You're pretty good yourself.
I would listen to y'all anytime y'all are on stream, even though
Aw.
like I barely have time to listen to stuff. Like I listen to a lot of my stuff now when I drive. Like I'll throw a YouTube video on or I'll throw a podcast on when I drive because like when right now with the way work is going for me, like the scope of my job has changed so much that like when I'm at my desk, I literally have to focus on work.
Yeah, that's how it's been for me lately too. Focusing on work. Is that it?
Did everyone have their say? Like I would,
Yeah.
Because I know I took up a good chunk of the talk time here.
I mean, I didn't really go, but I don't have to because we're running out of time.
Oh, go.
Yeah, say something.
Yeah.
This was your topic.
No, this has been on the dock for like a month.
Yeah, it's been on the dock for a month, and Stephanie, that week that it was you and I, we said we were going to save this for when Corey was back. So we saved it for you, bro.
So I don't really watch a ton of YouTube. I do watch Digital Foundry a lot. I watch MinMax sometimes. It's a bunch of ex Game Informer people, for those who don't know. I watch a lot of ex Giant Bomb people now, like Jeff Gersman. I watch all the time. He's doing this ranking. He's ranking every single NES game on his streams right now, where he plays like 45 minutes of an NES game and then he like tries to rank it, and he's up to like 250 NES games right now.
And he's like ranking all 250 from wow.
Yeah. He also ranks energy drinks too, which is really funny. Before every single like video he posts or stream, I guess he like finds some random energy drink and tastes it and then tries to rank it on a list. He's at like 150 of those too. It's really funny because some of them, like the reaction because of how bad they are, is just really funny. I listen to Nextlander a lot, another ex group of Giant Bomb people. Let's see. I don't really listen to. It's funny because like when I started podcasting and stuff, I listened to like like Kind of Funny and IGN people and all, and then I ventured out and now I don't listen to them at all. Like it's almost annoying to listen to them at this point. I do listen to a lot of Last Stand Media stuff. It's like my go-to because they put out a podcast every day and it's usually about 2 or 3 hours. It's probably my favorite content that's out there right now in terms of pure podcasting. So I listen to a lot of that. I know a lot of people don't like them. They have their opinions of the hosts and stuff, but I don't care. I like them. They're also like, besides a couple of our friends that podcast, like they're the only Patreon I subscribe to. So I think it's worth it. I think their content's worth it, even though all of their content except for one show is free. You just get it all early, which was like kind of the model I was kind of aiming for us. They are, I think they're the biggest video game oriented Patreon right now, or maybe the second, now that Second Wind kind of took off. Second Wind's kind of huge now, so maybe they're the second, but it's like every time their show comes up, it's like it automatically moves to the priority slot for me. So that's kind of really what I listen to and watch. I don't really explore anymore like I used to. I've found the people I like, and so I just stick with it.
Sometimes the best way to go.
Yeah. And then when I do try to venture out, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I want to go back to what I'm used to. But then like the people you watch, like you kind of want them to do something different. And then you're like, well, let me go see if I can find this. And then it's not it. And by the time you're done searching, they've put out a new video of something new. And you're just like, oh, I'll just do this now. I do, non-video game related, I do watch a lot of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, which is like a daily YouTube live show. Talks about Cleveland sports. So I do watch a lot of that. Not so much now because the Browns are done, but the Cavs are still out there, sort of, maybe. So that's kind of it for me. I do want to shout out Secret Friends Unite, though. Our friends over at Secret Friends, they're great. Sebastian from Single Player Experience, he's great. WASD and Beyond, they're great. Brody, second chair now. Brody's back. Attaboy.
Awesome.
Attaboy. Nick and Brody. We gotta get them on here now. God, I miss Brody.
Yeah.
I miss his beautiful bald head. So there's plenty of other people out there that I could probably shout out. I just can't think right now because my brain hurts. But to all the people out there who are creating content, doing good work, good job, all of you. Maybe not all of you. Most of you.
Good chunk of
You're trying. Matthew Keel also. I know you're looking for your next thing, but we love you.
Oh, yeah. My secret bromance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're behind the scenes bromance. Anyways, I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to wrap it up here on the Boss Rush podcast. I want to thank everybody out there for watching and or listening. Subscribe to our Patreon if you want this show 1 week early. If not, no big deal. Subscribe, share, rate, review wherever you listen. LeRon, Stephanie, Pat, appreciate your time tonight as always. I missed you guys. Once a week is not enough. Though I know we're all busy, so maybe it is. Everybody out there, and thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
Take care.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.